9 habits that change your life. You wake up, and everything feels the same. The ceiling looks like it did yesterday. The air carries that same stillness. Your phone is buzzing. The notifications are pulling you into someone else's life. Your habits, they're already awake, already walking the floorboards of your subconscious, deciding what kind of day you will have, before you even speak a word. And most people think they are living. But the truth is, they're sleepwalking in circles. Habits are not just routines. They are the invisible architects of your future. They shape your words before you speak them. They mold your posture before you stand. They tell you how much you're worth, long before the world ever offers an opinion. Because you do not rise to your goals, you fall to your habits. And that's why most people never change. They read the books, they watch the speeches, they nod at the quotes. But when the moment arrives to act, the old programming kicks in. The same loop, the same excuses, the same gravity pulling them back into average. But this message is not for those people. This is for the one who's tired of starting over, the one who's sick of pretending they don't care, the one who's quietly watching their potential collect dust, the one who's ready to break the curse of not tomorrow, not next year, but right now, in the next breath, in the next heartbeat. If that's you, then hear this. Your life can change completely, but it will never change by accident. It will change the moment you decide to build it, habit by habit, day by day, brick by brick. And if you want to build something legendary, if you want to forge a life that commands respect, purpose, and peace, you must begin with 9 foundational habits. Not trends, not hacks, habits, etched into your daily ritual like sacred vows. So let's begin, not with what you must do, but with who you must become. The first habit is waking up with purpose. You see, the world loves to glorify the grind, the hustle, the noise, the chaos. But what separates the average from the unstoppable isn't noise, it's clarity. Every morning is a new negotiation between who you were and who you could be. Most people wake up reacting to alarms, to messages, to the weight of yesterday. But the masters, the true architects of greatness, wake up deciding. Before Edison lit the world with electric fire, he lit his mind every morning with a singular belief. There's always a better way. Before Carnegie built steel empires, he built his thoughts, stone by stone, with intention. And before any man wins the day, he must first win the morning. Waking up early is not about hours. It's about ownership. Ownership of your mind before the world fills it with distraction. Ownership of your time before it slips through your fingers. Ownership of your energy, your goals, even 5 minutes of stillness. 5 minutes of writing down your vision, of whispering to your higher self. That's not a routine. That's resurrection. The second habit is feeding the mind. You've been lied to. People told you knowledge is power. That's only half true. Knowledge is only power when it becomes belief. When it leaves the page and enters your bloodstream. Every book you don't read is a room you'll never enter. Every great thinker you ignore is a future you'll never claim. Hill didn't write Think and Grow Rich for entertainment. He wrote it as a blueprint for warriors of the mind. But how many people treat their minds like sacred ground? Most feed their bodies 3 times a day and starve their minds for decades. And then they wonder why fear rules them, why failure haunts them, why doubt feels louder than vision. Because if you do not feed your mind, the world will feed it for you. With fear, with gossip, with limitations, with mediocrity dressed up as realism. Every single day, you must flood your brain with truth, fire, and vision. Read. Listen. Write. Absorb the ideas that stretch you, not sedate you. If you read just 10 pages of power a day, that's 3,650 pages a year. That's a new mind, a new voice, a new life. The third habit is moving the body. Don't underestimate the battlefield of the flesh. Your energy, your posture, your presence, they all begin in the temple you live in. You think Lincoln stayed strong through the Civil War by slouching in defeat? You think Roosevelt overcame polio and political storms without mastering his physiology? Strength starts in the body, and it bleeds into the mind. When you train, you don't just move muscles, you move beliefs. You shake the chains off your past. You remind yourself, I am not weak. I am becoming. Every sweat is a sermon. Every rep is a declaration, I will not shrink today. You don't have to run marathons. You don't need a perfect body. But you do need movement. Why? Because stagnation is spiritual decay. You can't expect to create motion in your life if you are physically still. So rise, walk, stretch, lift, dance. Fight if you must, but move. Because motion is medicine for every form of despair. The fourth habit is speaking with power. Words are not just sounds. They are seeds. Every time you speak, you are planting something in your mind, in others, in the world around you. And the problem? Most people don't guard their tongue. They speak as victims. They speak as doubters. They speak as if their voice has no power. But history was shaped by voices. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't carry a sword. He carried a vision wrapped in words. Churchill didn't need a battlefield to move nations. His words became the battlefield. Your words are spells, and the first person they enchant or destroy is you. If you wake up and say, "I'm tired," "I can't, I'm unlucky," "I'm not good enough," you are not just expressing how you feel, you are cementing it. But if you speak truth, not just affirmations, but declarations, your world shifts. Say, "I am becoming powerful. I am focused. I am blessed. I am worthy." Say it until your nervous system starts to believe it. Say it until your cells rearrange themselves to match your voice. Say it until the world has no choice but to adjust to your new frequency. Because your words are contracts with the future, and a man who speaks like a king begins to move like one. The fifth habit is mastering silence. In a world addicted to noise, to scrolling, to shouting, to constant motion, silence has become a revolutionary act. But listen closely. All greatness is born in silence. Einstein's theories? Born in quiet thought. Da Vinci's sketches? Drawn in solitude. Hill's principles? Written in the stillness between the noise of two wars. You are not just busy, you are distracted. And distraction is the assassin of destiny. Because when the world is loud, your inner voice gets drowned. Your intuition, your wisdom, your vision, they whisper, and you must be quiet enough to hear them. Most people are terrified of silence, because when everything goes quiet, they finally hear the truth, the lies they've believed, the fears they've carried, the dreams they've buried. But you must seek silence, not as an escape, but as a forge where clarity is made, where you face your thoughts like a warrior, where you sift gold from dust. Whether it's 5 minutes of stillness or 1 hour of deep reflection, protect that space like your life depends on it, because it does. In silence, you remember who you are, and from that place, you become unstoppable. The sixth habit is finishing what you start. Inspiration is cheap. Everyone has ideas. Everyone gets excited on day one. But most people don't finish anything. They chase dopamine instead of discipline. They start strong and die out in the valley. They build halfway and wonder why they never arrive. But every mountain climbed, every book written, every business built, every fortune forged was completed by people who refused to leave things half done. And you know what separates legends from the rest? Follow through. Because greatness doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most committed. You must learn to cross the finish line, not just when it's easy, not just when it's fun, but especially when it's hard, dull, and invisible. Your mind will beg you to quit. Your emotions will scream for comfort. But your soul was built to finish. Start a workout, finish it. Open a book, finish it. Make a promise, keep it. Because every time you finish, you send a signal to the deepest part of yourself. I am reliable. I am consistent. I am the type of person who follows through. And that identity, that belief, becomes your armor in a world of quitters. The seventh habit is serving with intention. You were not born to be a lone wolf. You were born to build something that feeds others. When Carnegie built his empire, he gave more to others than he kept for himself. When Disney created wonder, it was never about him. It was about awakening imagination in children everywhere. And when you study every giant, every enduring name, they were not just focused on self. They served something bigger. Because here's the truth. Money fades. Applause fades. Status fades. But impact echoes in eternity. So whatever you do it with service in your heart. Whether you sweep streets or lead nations, do it as if the world is better. Because you touched it. When you serve others with real intention, something shifts inside you. Your ego quiets. Your heart sharpens. Your mind finds meaning. And suddenly, even your darkest days start to feel divine. You realize you're not here to take. You're here to give. To uplift, to ignite. To leave something behind that whispers, I was here. The eighth habit is adapting without fear. The world is changing, fast. The tools are shifting. The platforms are evolving. The rules are being rewritten while you sleep. And most people? They resist. They freeze. They cling to what was, too scared to enter what could be. But adaptability is not weakness. It's survival. No, more than survival. It's ascension. Think of Ford. When the world still trusted horses, he imagined engines. When others laughed, he adapted, and he won. When Edison failed 10,000 times, he didn't cling to defeat. He adapted, and he lit the darkness. The future belongs to the fluid. You must learn to move, to shift, to bend without breaking. You must learn to say, this didn't work, so what's next? Not why me, but what now? You are not a tree. You are not rooted in yesterday. You can evolve. You can redesign. You can learn new skills, new systems, new languages, new ways to win. So stop mourning the old world. Start building the new one. Because the moment you embrace change, fully, is the moment fear loses all its power over you. The ninth habit is practicing ruthless gratitude. Not casual, not polite. Ruthless, because there will be days when life makes no sense. When the pain outweighs the progress, when the chaos feels louder than the calling. When you fall again and again and wonder if anyone, including yourself, still believes in you. And it is in those moments when everything shakes that gratitude becomes your anchor. Not the kind you say just to sound wise, but the kind that roars from your chest. I am still here. I am still breathing. I am still fighting. And that is enough. Gratitude is the habit that turns your worst days into fuel. You don't wait to be grateful until things are perfect. You choose to be grateful. And things begin to transform, because the soul that can find gold in ashes will never be poor. Ugh. So now you know, 9 habits, 9 sacred disciplines that don't just add up, they multiply, they echo, they ignite a chain reaction deep within you. Wake up with purpose, feed the mind, move the body, speak with power, master silence, finish what you start, serve with intention, adapt without fear, practice ruthless gratitude. These are not trends. These are not weekend hacks. These are ancient principles, modernized not by technology, but by truth. They are the same unshakable roots that carried men like Carnegie from poverty to power, the same inner engines that lit Edison's vision when the world still lived in shadows, the same compass that guided Lincoln through a nation tearing at its own skin. But none of it matters unless you begin, because knowing these habits does not change your life. Living them does. This is where most stop, right here, right at the door of change. They nod, they get chills, they feel inspired, but they don't move. And without movement, transformation is a myth. So here's the moment, not a future promise, not a someday wish, but this moment. Your old self wants comfort. Your new self wants freedom. Only one can win, and it's not about changing everything overnight. It's about changing something in today. One habit. One breath. One action that screams, I refuse to stay the same. Because if you change nothing, you are silently agreeing to repeat everything. And your future is listening. It's watching every choice you make, every moment you rise, every time you slip, every second you get back up. And it's waiting. Waiting to see if you're serious this time. Waiting to see if this is the day you stop just hoping and start becoming. You've suffered enough in the waiting room of your own potential. You've seen what average feels like. You've tasted the bitterness of almost, of maybe, of someday. Now, taste conviction. Taste what it feels like to stare your fears in the face and say, not today. Taste what it's like to wake up, look in the mirror, and see someone who keeps promises to themselves. Taste what happens when you stop surviving and start building. You weren't born to repeat history. You were born to make it. So rise. Rise with fire in your chest and thunder in your feet. Rise with vision in your eyes and steel in your spine. Rise like the storm they never saw coming. And let the world watch as you transform, one habit at a time, one day at a time, one unshakable decision at a time. This is your moment. This is your rebirth. This is how you change your life forever. Ugh. Now listen closely, because after the final word fades, after the screen goes black, after the music dies down, it feels like fire. Like something ancient inside you just cracked open, something wild, something sacred, something that's been asleep for years, finally stretching its limbs and whispering, it's time. Time to stop walking with your head down. Time to stop apologizing for your presence. Time to stop shrinking so others can feel tall. Because you were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to live small. You were never meant to die with your greatness still locked inside your bones. And the moment you make your habits holy, the moment you stop treating your morning like it's disposable, your words like they're meaningless, your time like it's cheap, that's the moment your identity starts to shift. And when your identity shifts, your reality follows. Not in a week, not in a year, in an instant. Because belief doesn't move slowly. It erupts. And that eruption will terrify the people around you. Because you'll stop relating to their excuses. You'll stop tolerating their distractions. You'll stop laughing at jokes that belittle ambition. You'll rise with such quiet power that it shakes their comfort zones. And you'll be tempted to go back, to fit in, to play small, to not make them uncomfortable. But listen to me now. Don't you dare go back. You worked too hard to wake up for this. You've bled for this. You've cried for this. You've watched yourself fail, doubt, self-destruct, and still get back up. And now, you're here, standing on the edge of your new self. Don't walk away. Step forward, even if your legs shake, even if your voice trembles. Step forward like a king returning to his throne. Step forward like a queen reclaiming her crown. Because when you walk with purpose, the path appears. And every habit you build now is a brick. You are laying the foundation for the next version of your life. And yes, the world will test you. The old temptations will come. But this time you won't flinch. Because now you have a system. You have a spine. You have a standard. This is what most people never understand. Success isn't sexy. It's not fireworks. It's not some cinematic climax. It's repetition. Relentless, focused, unshakable repetition. It's doing the right thing even when it feels boring. It's showing up when your emotions beg you to sit down. It's choosing your future over your feelings, again and again and again. And if you do that, if you master the boring, the consistent, the uncelebrated rituals, your life will begin to look miraculous to everyone watching. They'll say you're lucky. They'll call it talent. They'll whisper, how did they do it? But you'll know. You didn't wait for permission. You built it, one habit at a time. Then stand still for a moment and listen. Because this is the part where the sky splits. This is the part where the earth shakes. This is the part where something eternal is written inside you. And it says, I will never go back. And every one of those small, invisible wins, compounds, they build your character. They build your resilience. They build a life so powerful even your past no longer recognizes you. That's when you know you're on the right path. When the old you starts getting nervous. When the inner critic grows quieter. When your energy no longer matches the rooms you used to beg to be part of. That's when the shift happens, and people will notice it. They'll say, you've changed. Let them. Because you were supposed to. You didn't come here to stay the same. You didn't survive what you survived just to end up average. You came here to evolve, to unfold into the full weight of your potential. So yes, you changed. You outgrew the old patterns. You broke the cycles. You stopped entertaining weakness like it was an old friend. And in its place, you built habits that serve your purpose. And let me tell you, those habits, they're not just tools. They are evidence. Evidence that you respect your future more than your past. Evidence that you're willing to suffer for what you want, instead of suffering for what you fear. Evidence that you are no longer a slave to impulse, but a master of intention. And that evidence, it speaks louder than any motivational quote ever could. Now hear me. There will be days when your habits feel heavy. There will be mornings when discipline feels like punishment. There will be nights when you doubt everything. But remember this. Even when you're tired, you're still building. Even when it's hard, you're still progressing. Even when you don't feel it, you're still winning. Because consistency isn't about always being strong. It's about showing up, especially when you're not. It's about saying, today might be messy, but it will still be forward. It's about proving to yourself that the path matters more than perfection. That momentum matters more than motivation. That identity matters more than applause. Because when you live by your highest standard, the universe has no choice but to rise with you. And that's when doors begin to open. That's when new people show up, people who speak your new language. That's when time bends, ideas flood, your soul breathes. Not because of magic, but because you finally stopped negotiating with your potential and started obeying it. Then let's finish this the way warriors finish wars, not quietly, but with fire in the sky. So now, stand tall, not physically, nor spiritually. Straighten your inner posture. Lift your gaze to meet the future like it's an equal, not a question mark. Because you're not chasing it anymore. You're walking into it, slowly, surely, daily, and on the back of your discipline. You don't need permission. You don't need applause. You don't need someone to come rescue you. Because the moment you took control of your habits, you rescued yourself. You grabbed the wheel. You silenced the noise. You rewired the machine from the inside. And now, your habits are louder than your hesitation. Your routine is stronger than your resistance. Your mission is bigger than your mood. And that is how legends are born. Not from luck, from repetition. From the decision to say yes when it's easier to say later. From the refusal to let feelings drive fate. From the daily, faithful act of building yourself, whether the world notices or not. So let the world wonder. Let them question what changed. Let them whisper, something's different about you. They won't understand it, not at first, because they didn't see the early mornings. They didn't feel the loneliness. They didn't bleed for the battle like you did, but that's fine. You're not here to be understood. You're here to rise, to walk like purpose is in your bones, to speak like truth lives in your mouth, to move like destiny has already seen your name carved into history, because it has. You were chosen, not randomly but responsibly. This life? It chose you to carry something bigger than comfort. It chose you to lead by example, to show others that it's possible to break out, to prove that trauma doesn't define you, that failure doesn't finish you, that habits, simple, relentless, sacred habits, can resurrect a life from the ruins. And now one final truth. Let it echo in your soul. Your future self is not some fantasy. They are real. They're out there, walking, breathing, waiting. They already exist in another timeline, another frequency, another level of you that's only one thing away, your consistency. They are built, not in one massive leap, but in the discipline to do it again tomorrow, to wake up with purpose, to feed your mind, to move your body, to speak with power, to sit with silence, to finish what you start, to serve from the soul, to adapt without fear, to be ruthlessly, relentlessly grateful every single day. That's how you meet them. That's how the mirror shifts. That's how your life bends into form, not someday. Real change? It's quiet. It's unglamorous. It's lonely. It's the decision to get up at 5 a.m. when no one's watching. It's the choice to finish the book while your friends waste time scrolling. It's the moment you say no, not because it's easy, but because it's right. This journey isn't about hype. It's not about trends or trophies or 10,000 likes. It's about the private battle, the one no one claps for. The one no one sees. The one you fight between the old voice in your head and the new one you're trying to build. That's where winners are born. Not on stages. Not on Instagram. In silence. In sweat. In sacrifice. So when this voice fades, yours must rise louder. You must speak to yourself like a leader, not a follower. Like a warrior, not a wanderer. You must remind yourself that this world doesn't. It rewards the one who complains the best. It rewards the one who builds when it's hardest. And make no mistake, it will be hard. You'll feel doubt crawling under your skin. You'll hear old voices whispering that you'll fail again. You'll want to quit more times than you can count. But hear me now, don't you dare quit. You've quit enough times in your life. You've seen what happens when you settle, when you hesitate. When you retreat, you've tasted regret. You've worn shame like a second skin. Not anymore. This time you don't quit. This time, you rise even slower if you must, but you never stop. Because no storm lasts forever. And every time you push through, the old you loses power. And the new you sharpens. He strengthens. She begins to believe. Not in luck, not in miracles, but in self. And when that belief sets in, when that inner flame no longer needs outside validation, when your habits become stronger than your history, that's when life begins to bend. Not just for a moment, but for good. So carry these 9 habits like sacred armor. Revisit them, reinforce them, repeat them, until they become your default identity. Because the man who can master his habits can master his world. And if you're still here, still listening, still breathing, then you are no longer the same person who pressed play. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt. And this time, you finish the mission. No excuses, no apologies. No turning back. Because the old version of you, the one who kept waiting, that version dies today, and a new one rises. On fire, unstoppable, unrecognizable. Let the world wonder how you did it. Let the future thank you for not quitting, and let your soul whisper back with a calm, quiet certainty. I changed my life because I changed my habits. Now, let's go further. Because you didn't come this far just to hear words. You came for awakening, and awakening doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel safe. Because now you are no longer just someone with a dream. You are someone with a system, a rhythm, a code, a ritual that carries the blueprint of greatness. And from this day forward, you will never be the same. Because now, you don't hope for change. You embody it. Now, you don't wait for motivation. You move through it. Now, you don't fear failure. You use it as fuel. So go, build the life they said you'd never have. Become the person even your past couldn't predict. And when the dust settles, let them look at your life and say, that's what happens when someone masters their habits and refuses to quit. And let your soul reply, calmly, silently, eternally, I built this. And remember, it's not what you wish for that shapes your life. It's what you do every single day. So if this message lit something inside you, don't just feel inspired. Act. Start today. Start now. Start with one habit. Because if you build them right, your habits won't just change your life. They'll change your legacy. This is your time. This is your turn. This is your rise. If this message moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, share it, save it. Subscribe so you never miss the voice that reminds you who you really are. Drop a comment below. Tell us which habit you're committing to right now. Let the world see it in writing. And remember, no one's coming to rescue you. You are the hero. Now go build your legend.